What's going on, boys? Today I'm on Tier Maker, and I'm going to be rearranging the UFC pound-for-pound list, starting at number 15 and working our way up. Quick note here, my definition of pound-for-pound puts all of the athletes in the body of GSP, so there can be no new additions, even though Robert Whittaker is probably better than Jamal Hill and Alex Pereira. Alright, this is a highly opinionated list, so feel free to tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Now that we've set our rules, let's get into it. Simply put, Alex Pereira could probably get out-grappled by almost everyone else on the list. Alright, and for that, he's at number 15. We move up, number 14, we got Jamal Hill. Alright, now he feels like he's kind of keeping the belt warm for Yuri. I mean, he beat a retiring Glover for the belt. And similarly to Pereira, his defensive wrestling just isn't up to snuff because he was getting kind of out-grappled by Paul Craig not too many fights ago. We move on. Number 13, Yuri Prohaska. We're kind of hanging around light heavyweight here. Yuri's strength lies in his durability and his strength, intangible factors necessary to be successful, but the reason he doesn't rank higher is his lacking fight IQ. The pound-for-pound list is inherently silly, but the farther you go towards number one, the more fight IQ and technique play a larger role in my decisions here. Number 12, we got Justin Gaethje. Gaethje has had lots of improvement since his early 2018 run, again hanging out with Trevor Whitman. When he starts incorporating his jab and fighting smart, he's better. But again, his defensive wrestling against Khabib and Oliveira really showed that he kind of has a ceiling in lightweight, especially when facing heavy grapplers. All of the top 5 fighters on the pound-for-pound list are well-rounded. And I think that's a key factor in success. Moving up, number 11, we got Aljamain Sterling. Justin versus Aljo is a stylistically interesting fight, but his losses to Charles and Khabib doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence again in the grappling. Aljamain's strength comes from his abilities on the ground. I mean, there's an argument to be made that he's a bit of a weight bully, so again, when put on an even playing field, it could negatively affect Aljamain's abilities, but I still think he would beat Justin Gaethje if they were both 170 pounds. Cracking the top 10, we got Sean O'Malley. All right, now straight up, Aljo lost to Sean, and the reason for that was a major tactical error. The lack of early takedowns didn't even give Sterling a chance. I'm not even trying to, take away from Sean O'Malley because he's proved himself as someone who can defensively grapple. But when we start moving up the list, we see a striker who could probably set enough traps to beat him, and that is Israel Adesanya. Love him or hate him, his technical striking and ability to set traps allows him to be successful. Styles make fights, and there's one style that he hasn't faced yet, and that's a scary wrestler by the name of Khamzat Chimaev. That would be an interesting matchup. But someone else who has grappling abilities that could be better than Israel is Alejandro Pantoja. All right, now this is a little bit controversial, but I think Pantoja has the skills to out-grapple Izzy. Maybe even outstrike him, I don't know, depending on a couple of factors. Especially since Izzy usually uses his height and reach advantages to great effect. So, putting on an even playing field, I think Pantoja's skills could beat him. Moving up the list, Charles Oliveira. He's kind of just a better Pantoja. I think he has better grappling based on who he's beat. Even when I'm watching the Islam fight, I mean, it feels a bit fluky. Charles had a bit of a mentality problem going into that fight. And his fight with Beneil proved that he was back, in a big way. And I think he just might beat Islam. Moving up to a man who has beat Charles Oliveira, we got Max Holloway. Oliveira's only weakness compared to Max are cardio and chin, but I believe that those will be enough to beat Charles and kind of melt everybody else under this man on the tier list. But again, there's a little weakness here. The way the list goes, it kind of alternates between strikers and grapplers. As we crack the top 5 here, we got Kamaru Usman. I'm thinking he'd beat Max. His grappling and his ability to mix it up, similarly to another man who's beat Max, he'll be a little bit higher on the list, right? Even though he lost to Leon, he's still formidable, but looking back on his wins, he never fought a high-level, well-rounded opponent. Usman, right? Kind of out-grappling the strikers and out-striking the wrestlers type deal. But you're looking right here, and there's a man who's beat him. Leon Rocky Edwards. The second fight was pretty decisive, and Leon's well-roundedness in every aspect of the game allows him to, like Usman, be good against all types of fighters. However, even though his fight IQ is top-notch, there's someone with better fight IQ, and that's Jon Jones. Even without the height, reach, and pulsing picograms, Jon is a very smart and technical fighter. He was the pound-for-pound GOAT before the debate even started, but similarly to Izzy, there's one type of fighter he hasn't faced, and that's Islam Makhachev, a relentless Dagestani grappler with no visible weaknesses, good in all areas. Very few close fights. He lost one early in his career, but there was one close fight which showed who was the pound-for-pound number one, and that's Alexander the Great Volkanovski. If he and Makhachev were the same size, and Islam wasn't a little bit of a weight bully, with a propensity for IV-based hydration, Volk could have won the razor-close decision. And the very definition of pound-for-pound, fighting the bigger man and arguably winning. This has been my restructured pound-for-pound list. Again, leave any changes you'd make in the comments below. Any support this gets would be greatly appreciated. And have a good time.